For students of all ages, developing the ability to stay focused and attentive is essential for effective learning. With so many distractions in today's world, maintaining concentration on studies can be incredibly challenging. The good news is that Buddhism contains a wealth of timeless wisdom to help cultivate the mental focus and discipline needed to make the most of educational opportunities. At the core of Buddhism is the importance of mind training and mastering one's awareness. The Buddha himself was a passionate teacher who recognized the key role that focused attention plays in gaining wisdom and understanding. As once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." To learn and grow, we must be able to still the mind and keep it steadily fixed on the subjects we are striving to comprehend. One of the Buddha's most renowned teachings on developing keen focus is the Anapanasati Sutta, also known as the Discourse on Mindfulness of Breathing. This guidance centers on using the natural rhythm of one's breathing as an anchoring tool for present awareness. By patiently returning one's attention to the breath whenever the mind starts to wander, the Buddha taught that you should develop this mindfulness of in-breathing and out-breathing. With diligent practice, this basic act of mindfulness calms the turbulence of distracted thoughts and fosters a composed, unified mind, the perfect inner environment for focused learning. As the ancient Buddhist scholar Buddhaghosa explained, when well set in position after position, having made mindfulness its frontal guide, the mind gains power, pliancy, and height. This teaching points to the immense benefits of mindful breathwork as a way to strengthen and uplift our ability to learn. By continually guiding our unbridled minds back to the immediate reality of each inhalation and exhalation, we slowly train the attention muscle, making focus itself a more effortless state. Just as a reed of some sort is padded with munja grass and with the outer covering removed, is made straight, even, and workable, so too concentration by means of mindfulness of breathing ought to be made straight, even and workable for the destructions of the corruptions. The everyday discipline of refocusing on the breath acts like a spiritual and cognitive polishing process, smoothing out our scattered thoughts into a tranquil readiness to absorb knowledge. Importantly, the Buddha emphasized that mindfulness should extend beyond the breath into all aspects of our lives. Drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the world Earth revolves. This slow, deliberate attention is equally applicable to studying and tackling academic work. Rather than rushing distractedly from one task to the next, we open ourselves to learning by fully inhabiting each moment with conscious dedication. To be alive is a miracle. Mindfulness helps you go home to the present. And every time you go there and recognize a condition of happiness that you have, happiness just grows. What could be a greater condition of happiness than the opportunity to gain knowledge and understanding through focused study? When we dwell in the here and now with grateful mindfulness, our studies take on richer meaning, and our minds naturally gravitate toward greater concentration. Along with breath mindfulness, the Buddha counseled his students in the cultivation of ethical and balanced living as a means to focus and clarity. By adhering to moral precepts like nonviolence, truthfulness, abstaining from intoxicants, and taking only what is freely given, we create the inner conditions for a bright, unburdened mind primed for learning. As the ancient Buddhist text, the Dhammapada states, "Just as a solid rock cannot be moved by the storm, even so the wise are not agitated by praise or blame." When we live with integrity and equanimity, our minds do not become perturbed and distracted by the whirlwind of emotions, pressures, and temptations that can so easily knock us off course in our studies. In addition, the Buddha recommended embracing simplicity as a way to retain mental focus. An interesting passage from the Sutta Nipata expresses this ideal. Make an island for yourself. Avoid evil friends who are foolish. Go along with them no further. Live with your mind like a hind at grass. To stay concentrated in academics, we must exercise discipline in all aspects of life, avoiding excesses, negative influences, and rumination that can overwhelm the mind like dense overgrowth in a field. The Buddha's advocacy for meditative concentration further elucidates the keys to focused study. One of the most salient discourses on meditation, the Anapanasati Sutta, teaches progressive levels of insight and collectedness that ultimately lead to the liberation of mind, by which one no longer feels attraction for sense objects, but attends to the mind's release. This lofty goal points to meditation as a means to permanently unbind ourselves from the distracting chains of sensual cravings and mental restlessness that so often undermine our ability to focus. As prolific Buddhist author Walpola Rahula explains, a concentrated mind is the basis for wisdom. The Buddhist method is to go directly to the mind to study and rectify it. Why? Because the mind is the unhappiness as well as the root cause of all our sufferings and troubles. When we meditate to still and purify our agitated minds, we open the doorway to stable focus and insight, the key fulcrums for effortless learning and growth in knowledge. Beyond breath work, ethical conduct, mindfulness, and meditation, Buddhism offers several other insights to assist those struggling to sustain focus and attentiveness in their studies. Health is the most precious gain. Contentment is the greatest wealth. Freedom from all dukkha is the supreme happiness. This well-known quote from the Dhammapada emphasizes caring for our physical and mental well-being as foundational for clarity and balanced effort. When we safeguard our health through self-care, adequate rest, exercise, and nutrition, our energy levels remain buoyant and our concentration unwavering in the face of academic rigors. Attachment and cravings are the pollutants of the mind, expressed Walpola Rahula. This teaching highlights the need to monitor and loosen the grip of mental distractions and fixations, be they attractions, aversions, habitual ruminations, or other persistent thought patterns. When we become attached to focusing on anything other than the task at hand, our concentration splinters. By witnessing and letting go of these inner pollutants, we naturally return to an open, rested state of clear learning receptivity. No entanglement with things that obscure the truth. You should simply study the Buddha Dharma with humble acceptance, taught Thich Nhat Hanh. Here we are reminded to strip away complicating byways or cravings that might divert us from the straightforward path of study and the pure pursuit of understanding. When we approach academic efforts with noble simplicity and earnest humility, distracted self-entanglement melts away in service of full-hearted learning immersion. Above all, the Buddha recognized the need for patience and diligent perseverance on the road to focused attainment. As he once said, "Drop by drop is the water pot filled." Likewise, the wise person, gathering it little by little, fills themselves with good. His wisdom here gently reminds us that developing the skill of concentration is an incremental process that unfolds through steadfast application and trust in innate human potential. In practicing the Buddha's teachings on mindfulness, meditation, wise conduct, simplicity, patience, and care for our well-being, we progressively strengthen and purify the mind's ability to remain anchored in the present with lucid focus. Studying then ceases to be an effortful battle with distraction, and instead becomes a natural immersion in the subject at hand. An enlightening journey facilitated by a spacious consciousness primed for the steady assimilation of insights. Just as a still pool perfectly mirrors its surroundings, so too does the tranquil mind clearly reflect the knowledge we aspire to absorb. Through the Buddha's ageless guidance instilling the turbulent ripples of cravings, habituations, and restlessness, we uncover the profound joy and enrichment intrinsic to steadfastly focused learning. To stay focused in studies is ultimately to embrace the transformative Buddha wisdom on living with clarity, simplicity, discipline, and benevolent dedication. When we walk this noble path diligently, even the most complex academic subjects reveal themselves with sublime lucidity. Our awakened, concentrated minds become like polished lenses through which the true Dharma of all phenomena